Hello, my name's Leslie. I'm here with my sister Fiona, and we're making some videos about Hosta gardening and Hosta hybridizing. And I wanted to start by just introducing some Hostas and Hosta terms so that everybody will understand things that we're talking about. So this here is a green Hosta, and this is kind of a larger green Hosta than most. A lot of people have smaller green hostas, but I kind of like this one, so it's in my garden. My garden became popular last fall, I guess, when my sister posted some photos of it, and there were some questions, so I thought we would do some videos for information and show some of the stuff that I do in my gardening. I have a hybridizing garden, really. I wanted to show some of the stuff that I do with that. Yeah, I wanted to show you this blue hosta here. This is what we're going to call as being a blue hosta. And this plant here is a white-edged hosta, or edge variegated hosta. And this is Justice crossed with blue umbrellas, and this is purple ventriculated elf crossed with skylight, just for the matches there. Coming over here, this is a gold plant. The thing about gold plants is that they have about half of the ability to photosynthesize as a green plant. There's a genetic defect that leaves gold plants not able to photosynthesize as well. And when you're planting a gold plant, you have to take that into consideration, that gold plant might need a brighter location than a green plant. And that's not necessarily to say that it needs a more sunny location. It's to say that it needs a brighter location, really. Yeah, I kind of wanted to show you this plant here. This is called Gold Elation, and it's a seedling of mine that was from High Noon crossed with Justice. And that's a gold plant. It's got some really good characteristics. It's very large. It doesn't seem to burn here in southern Michigan. And the leaves don't fade or turn brown or curl up later in the summer or anything like that. It's good till frost, really. This is a rippled edge variegated hosta. And what else we got down here? We got here's another edge variegated hosta, and that there is a media variegated hosta, where the white is in the center of the leaf. Yeah, I wanted to show you this Hosta Justice. This is a good example of a streaked hosta, and you can kind of see that the leaves have this streaking in them. Streaking hostas are important because you need to use a streaked hosta usually as a pollen or as a pod parent in order to create hostas that have white edges or white centered leaves. So you would use the flowers off of this plant, and then you would take pollen from other plants to put on it, and then those seedlings would eventually produce white-edged or white-centered leaf hostas. So again, here we're showing streaked hostas, and this has got a flower stem coming up on it, and you'd want to use those flowers, and you'd want to use this as a pod parent, and then you would want to take pollens from hostas that you liked the characters of and put them on this hosta's flowers, and then the seeds from that would have characteristics of both hostas and would eventually develop a white edge or white centered leaf as they progressed and grew older. So once you pollinate your flowers and you grow the seeds of your streaked plants, then the next spring, you know, you're going to get streaked plants from the seeds. And once those grow over several years, they do what's called organize. And organizing means that the plant will form crowns that are edge variegated or media variegated. And so this is an example of a streaked plant that has grown for a lot of years, and now it has a lot of crowns. And this plant has crowns that are green, crowns that are streaked, crowns that are edge variegated, and also crowns that are media variegated, all in the same plant. Now you could dig this up and separate the crowns out, and by the crowns I'm talking about the base. These are the crowns down here. So that's like one crown, and this is another crown. And you can see that this crown and all the leaves on it are probably going to have this white variegation. And then this is a streaked crown here, and it's got streaky leaves in it. And it looks like there's a green leaf there too. But the crowns are generally going to do what's called organize, and they're going to form edge variegation, green, streaked, or maybe even white, which, you know, isn't that great. But anyway, that's kind of what your goal is. Then you can separate them out, and then you have new hostas. Yeah, so we're going to do some videos now on creating new hostas from some streaked plants that have been growing in the garden for several years. And this is something that happens here in this garden this time of year. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you've enjoyed this introduction.